This happened on a busy street in Manila. It was late, but the city never really sleeps. Tricycles wove through traffic. Vendors sold snacks under the orange glow of streetlights, and people were everywhere. Then, out of nowhere, a boy appeared. He was maybe 15 years old, running full speed, barefoot, his clothes torn. He wasn't running from someone. He was running from something. And he was screaming, but not for help. He was screaming at whatever was behind him. "Leave me alone," he'd yell, his voice cracking. Then he'd whisper it, desperate, "Please, leave me alone." He bumped into people, stumbled through crowds, but never seemed to see them. His eyes were locked on the space just over his shoulder. And that's when witnesses started to notice the little things, the things that didn't make sense. His shadow, for instance. It seemed to lag behind him, just a fraction of a second too late, like it was struggling to keep up. The sound of his bare feet hitting the pavement didn't always match his steps. Sometimes a foot would land silently. Other times, a sharp slap would echo when he was still in the air. The streetlights above him would flicker and dim as he passed under them, and return to normal once he was gone. The boy's frantic run started to slow. He was still moving fast, but now it was a walk, a terrified, hurried walk, as if the thing chasing him was finally close enough to touch. He began sobbing, shaking his head from side to side, begging. Then, in the middle of the road, with cars swerving around him, he just stopped. He stood completely still. His head tilted slowly, agonizingly, upward. His eyes were wide, fixed on something directly in front of him. Something towering and invisible that had him frozen in pure terror. People looked. They strained to see what he was seeing, but there was nothing there, just empty air. The boy's lips trembled, and a whisper escaped. "You said I could stay." His eyes rolled back into his head, showing only the whites. And then his body began to lift off the ground. It wasn't smooth. It was a violent, jerking motion, like he was being hoisted by something rough and impatient. His feet dragged upward, his toes scraping against nothing. A security guard from a nearby building saw what was happening and ran to help. He grabbed the boy's arm, trying to pull him down, and immediately screamed. He said later it felt like pulling against something alive, something that was breathing and pulling back with immense strength. The boy's arm started to bend at an unnatural angle, and the guard was dragged forward, his own shoes scraping against the asphalt, as this unseen force pulled the boy higher. It was like watching a tug-of-war with a ghost. Then the boy's mouth opened, and a voice came out. It wasn't his. It was low, calm, and sounded impossibly close, like it was speaking right into the guard's ear. In that instant, the guard let go. The boy didn't fall. He was dropped. He hit the ground hard, a heavy, final sound. The street erupted. People were screaming, running. When the boy finally pushed himself up, he wasn't crying anymore. He didn't speak. He just sat there, staring at the empty space in front of him, his breathing shallow, his eyes wide with a horror that hadn't left him. Later, when the chaos subsided and people tried to help him, someone asked what it was. What had followed him down that road? He only gave a one-sentence answer, his voice barely a whisper. "It's still here." No one ever found out what happened that night. There were no clear videos. The dozens of witnesses could never agree on the details. The story became a piece of Manila's dark folklore. But some of those who were there, some of the people who saw the boy with the lagging shadow, swear that when they walk down that same road at night, they feel it. They feel like they're being watched. And sometimes, when the street is quiet and they're all alone, they hear a whisper on the wind, right behind them. Don't turn around. Thanks for watching. If you have a story you think we should hear, let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more unexplained accounts.